You're going to go out on the field before the game. You got to meet Ryan down on the concourse right now.
Well, he's down there. You're talking to you. They have these little league nights. Yeah, they have the good ones well down there.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Falcon Park here in Auburn, New York, as we have an exhibition showdown between the Cortland Crush and your Auburn Doubledays. Hello, everybody. Trevor Curl back up here in the booth. And it is a glorious day for baseball. 79 degrees and sunny, just a light breeze. Perfect temperature to watch another perfect baseball game. Well, the Doubledays, it's been an interesting season so far as we're in game number 12 of the season so far. Really game 13. But this one doesn't, as it doesn't add to your stats, doesn't add to the season. It's just to get more guys playing time, see you have some more guys get some at-bats. Pitchers get back onto the mound, and infielders see some more ground balls. As Cortland Crush, members of the NYCBL, the New York Collegiate Baseball season, as the Doubledays inside the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Currently sitting at 6-6 so far this season, 2.5 games back, 3-3 at home and 3-3 on the road, playing 500 baseball so far. Serviceable, but needing a boost, and hopefully tonight the offense can get that boost, as we had some interesting struggles on offense, which the Doubledays power numbers really just soared through the roof in the early part of the season. A lot of extra base hits, started out the year hot with that department, and then just met a buzzsaw out in Batavia. A really good pitching staff, really kind of dialed up against the Auburn Bats. 20-plus scoreless innings over the course of those couple of doubleheaders, but then the Doubledays were able to break through out of their slump, able to score 3 runs and fend off Batavia, able to scratch away 1 win out of that 4-game series. And then last night in New York for a special Father's Day start time at 6:05, the Doubledays took care of business on the road versus a struggling Newark team who was 1-9 at the time. As the Doubledays were able to score 9 runs on 10 hits, which is a little bit more of what we're used to seeing out of our Doubledays. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups here tonight. First for the visitors in the Cortland Crush, as announced by manager Bill McConnell. Leading things off will be the center fielder Tyler Bach. Batting second will be the left fielder Louis Percival. Batting third will be the right fielder Owen Podolek. Batting fourth will be the catcher Aaron Ischiardo. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter Jake Freed. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Sean Moynihan Jr. Batting seventh will be the third baseman Sean Desjarnes. Batting eighth will be the shortstop Nathan Reese, and batting ninth, rounding out the order, Ryan Wynn. Cortland only batting 9 here against the Doubledays, and let's see how they will line up here in the starting lineup as announced by interim manager for tonight, Logan Matson. Leading things off will be the left fielder James Mason. Batting second will be the third baseman Riley Brody. Batting third will be the right fielder AJ Wenrich. Batting fourth, will be the designated hitter Jake Howes. Batting fifth will be the catcher Jake Bolin. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Hal Walker Jr. Batting seventh will be the extra hitter Bryce Moore. Batting eighth will be the center fielder Emil Sander. Batting ninth will be the second baseman local kid Kevin Dolan, and rounding off the order batting 10th will be the shortstop James Musso. Well, we'll get you the starting pitchers and more as we are just around the corner from first pitch here from Falcon Park. It's the Crush versus the Doubledays next on the Doubledays Baseball Network. And welcome back inside Falcon Park as the Doubledays and the Cortland Crush are just moments away from first pitch. Let's take a look at the offense over the last 7 days for the Doubledays. And really, this has been what's kind of been telling the story of the summer so far. After a really red-hot offensive start for Auburn, really cooled off the bats a lot. And, obviously, we've had the delays, we've had the rain, we've had the smoke, so players haven't been able to get at bats consistently. They haven't been able to find the consistency that they were expecting to have going into this summer. As we take a look at the last 7 games, the team average right now currently at 194 over the last 7 games. On getting on base has been a struggle as well, 281. And then the slugging department, like we mentioned, the Doubledays offense has been so good at hitting extra base hits. They haven't been doing that over the last 7 days. A 250 slugging as a team over that stretch in 160 at-bats, 31 hits. 7 of those have been for doubles, 1 triple. The Doubledays are still looking for their first home run of the season. And the big number here, 17 runs batted in 20 runs scored. This team has been able to get guys on base and manufacture some runs, but it's just not at the levels that the Doubledays have wanted to on offense, as both managers are exchanging lineup cards at home plate. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. First pitch coming up next.
Good evening, fans. Welcome to the old Pickney Field in Falcon Park, and welcome to tonight's exhibition matchup between the Cortland Crush and your Auburn Doubledays. Ladies and gentlemen, the student athletes of the Perfect Game CBL ask fans to support the rules of good sportsmanship. Please help them to maintain a positive, competitive atmosphere as they strive to reach their potential as athletes. Courtesy to officials, coaches, and competitors is expected. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, taunting, and intimidating actions are expressions of poor sportsmanship and are grounds for removal from this venue. We appreciate and thank you for your support and encouragement. Be loud, be proud, and be positive. Now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for Cortland. Leading off the center fielder, number 26, Tyler Bach. Batting second, left fielder, number 12, Louis Percival. Batting third, the right fielder, number 8, Owen Catholic. Batting forward, the catcher, number 27, Aaron Esquido. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 30, Jake Freed. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 21, Sean Moynihan Jr. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 10, Sean Desjardins. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 6, Nate Reese. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 28, Ryan Wynn. The starting pitcher tonight for Cortland is number 39, Craig Scherr. The Crush are coached by Bill McConnell, James Williamson, Charles Edwards, Joe Horn, and Nick Harper. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Auburn Doubledays. Taking the field with the Doubledays tonight will be our baseball buddies from the Auburn Doubledays. Leading off for the Doubledays, left fielder number 9, Robert Mason. And second, third baseman number 45, Riley Robbie. Batting third, the right fielder number 3, A.J. Renrich. Batting fourth, the designated hitter number 25, Jake House.
Nothing but excitement here inside Falcon Park as the Doubledays have taken the field behind James Moore. Let's take a look at how they'll line up defensively. Going from left to right, James Mason out in left field, Emil Sander in center, AJ Wenrich in right, Riley Brody over at third, James Musso over at short. Kevin Dolan got a really good round of applause taking the field over at second. Hal Walker Jr. will anchor the bag at first base. And then the battery for tonight, James Moore on the mound, and behind the plate, Jake Bolin. Well, for James Moore, he spent most of his time as a bullpen arm over at St. Lawrence University in NCAA Division III. Out of Colebrook, Connecticut, went to Avon Old Farms High School. This season for St. Lawrence, James Moore went 0-1 ERA of 16.62, 2 strikeouts, 11 walks, 19 runs, 16 of them were earned, 1 home run given up. Does not tell the story, though, as he's getting his first start this season on the mound for the Doubledays. As he is definitely excited to get his first start out of the way. Normally using it as a bullpen arm, it's a different mindset. You got to go in a different motion. You got to take your reps a little bit differently. You got to prepare a little bit differently. You have all day. You know when you're getting the ball. So it kind of sits in your mind for a little bit, and then as soon as you get to the ballpark, it's go time. Let's take a look at that starting lineup once again for the Cortland Crush, as announced by manager Bill McConnell, Tyler Bach, Louis Percival, Owen Podolek, Aaron Ischiardo, Jake Free, Sean Moynihan Jr., Sean Deschardins, Nathan Reese, and Ryan Wynn. Only batting 9 for the Cortland Crush. Over there on the first base and third base coaches box, Bill McConnell and Charles Edwards, as James Moore gets himself ready to go. He takes a look in to James Bolin as Tyler Bach digs himself into the left-hand batter's box. Moore takes a look into Bolin. He gets his sign. He comes set from the belt, and the first pitch delivered is sent foul over our heads, and we are underway from Falcon Park. The Doubledays in their home jerseys with the Doubledays scrawled across their chest, and the Cortland Crush in their road grays with orange accents. The 0-1 pitch on the way, sent on the ground over to first base. Hal Walker Jr.'s got it. He's going to foot race Bach over to the bag. He takes it himself, and there's one away here in the first inning. 79 degrees and sunny with a light breeze blowing in from left field. The normal wind blowing in here at Falcon Park. Ray Bryant behind the mound, behind the plate, he will be calling balls and strikes and taking care of the base pass. As pitch comes in from Moore, it's swung on and fouled back by Louis Percival. No balls and a strike to the Cortland two-hitter. As we mentioned, the Doubledays have had quite a bit of games canceled due to plenty of weather, and so do these Cortland Crushes as a foul ball gets sent down the third baseline, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. For the Doubledays, we're supposed to be basically in game rather 15 or 16. Instead, we're just getting game 13 under our belts here in the summer of 2023, as the 0-2 pitch from Moore is a fastball that runs up above the eyes for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 away. Infield shifted just a hair to the pull side for Percival. Brody just a step and a dive away from the line. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a fly ball out into shallow right center field. AJ Wenrich coming in, Dolan going back. It's Wenrich who puts the call and puts the squeeze on it for out number 2. 2 away for Cortland here in the top half of the first inning. Well, quick 2 outs for James Moore as Owen Podolek digs himself into the batter's box. One of the best hitters so far this season for Cortland. 6 for 17 so far, gives him a .353 average, couple of doubles and 2 runs batted in as the first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1. As a fastball runs up and inside and catches the arm of Podolek, so he's aboard at first base. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter, Aaron Ischiardo. So Moore gives up a free pass here with 2 away, and that gives the Cortland runners a chance to take off been one of the more aggressive teams we've seen so far. 28 stolen bags as the first pitch is in there for a called strike one. Went down to the field before the game and talked with Steve LaRose, the pitching coach, asked him how is he going to control the running game. He says, we're going to make them feel uncomfortable. We're going to vary our looks and times. We're not going to be predictable. As a fly ball sent out to right field, going back Wenrich again, and he's there to put the easy catch on it to retire the side. Cortland gets a man on, but leave him stranded. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Our score, the Crush, nothing. Coming up.
We ask all other guests to respect our policy and sit in the general admission areas. General admission seating includes all locations in the ballpark except the blue VIP seats. So please sit in the location indicated on your ticket for your understanding and your cooperation. And we'd like to let you know that we now have a family-friendly section here at Falcon Park, located in the grandstand on the first base side. Our family section is sponsored by our good friends at United Way of Cayuga County. We remind you that the family-friendly section is an alcohol-free zone, so no adult beverages, please.
And welcome back from Falcon Park as we get ready for the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take another look at that Doubleday starting lineup as announced by interim manager tonight, Logan Matson. Leading things off will be the left fielder, James Mason. Batting second will be the third baseman, Riley Brody. Batting third will be the right fielder, A.J. Wenrich. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Jake Houts. Batting fifth will be the catcher, Jake Bolin. Batting sixth will be the first baseman, Hal Walker Jr. Batting seventh, the extra hitter, Bryce Moore. Batting eighth, the center fielder, Emil Sander. Batting ninth, the second baseman, Kevin Dolan. And batting 10th, rounding out the order, the shortstop for tonight, James Musso. They're going to face a new arm here for the Cortland Crush, as just added to the roster just a couple of days ago, Craig Kerr, the left-hander on the mound for the Crush. As we take a look at his defense behind him, Louis Percival out in left field, Tyler Bach out in center, Owen Podolek out in right. Sean Deschardins over at third, Nathan Reese over at short, Ryan Wynn over at second, Sean Monahan Jr. and Aaron Ischiardo behind the mound doing the catching as James Mason lead things off for the Doubledays. He's the first guy not named Carson Gross or Harrison Campy to lead off a ball game for Auburn this summer. We've been so used to seeing those two at the top of the order. A little different look here with dots the outer edge for a called strike at 91. Scherer's bringing in the heat early. He's ready to go for the 0-1 pitch on the way to Mason. Swinging a little tapper out in front of the play. A little confusion between Ischiardo and the pitcher. The throw to first. And they get Mason out for the first out of the inning. Well, they'll bring up Riley Brody. It's been a slow start for him so far this summer. But at Ithaca, little things different there. Batted .314 on the spring season, 58 hits, 43 RBIs, 13 doubles, 3 triples. Sent 6 baseballs out of the yard as a first pitch hook catches the outer edge for a called strike one. 31 walks was the big number. He really knew how to get on base, and we're just waiting for this guy to get hot. As a couple of the Doubledays offensive bats were just waiting for a couple of things to click as a ground ball sent right back up the box. On a backhand is Wynn. Long throw across, and it's not going to be knocked down by Moynihan Jr. Brody's taking off for second. A throw into second off the tip of the glove of the shortstop Reese, and Riley Brody's aboard with an infield single and an error on the throw. We're seeing a little bit of Brody right there. The speed, the ground ball up the middle. Tough play for a win. Had a wheel and fire. A low one hop over to the first baseman, Moynihan Jr. couldn't get the pick, and it bounced away and ricocheted off the retaining wall down the first base side. Brody's now in scoring position for A.J. Wenrich. As Wenrich takes a good look at the left-hander for the first time. The first pitch, fastball, runs up and outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Wenrich, a Georgia Southern guy, has been really struggling so far this season, though, here in Auburn. But he's hit the baseball hard. He's probably hit the hardest 1 for 8 we've seen so far this year, as a ground ball sent to second base win. Sends a nice easy toss over to Moynihan Jr. for the second out. 2 away, and that'll bring up Jake Houts, and this is another guy we're looking to get hot and going quick. Had a really good year for Mansfield for the Mountaineers. 324 average, 47 hits, 37 runs batted in, 6 doubles, 1 triple, and 11 walks, as the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down below the zone for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, I was talking with Houts about the struggles and the recent efforts to get back. He said, I'm not pressing. I'm not really focused on trying to get a hit. I'm just focused on being back into my mechanics and doing what I need to do to get back on track. And we believe him as the 2-0 count to Houts. Brody just 90 feet away over at third base. Sure, the left-hander looks in, gets his sign. He comes set. Brody, very short lead over there at third. The pitch. Breaking ball sent on the ground over to first base. Up with the backhand, Moynihan Jr. He takes it himself to the first base bag to retire the Doubledays. Well, they get a hit, but advance all the way around to third, but that is where they leave him. We go now to the second inning with our score, the Crush 0 and the Doubledays 0. Picking things up here from Falcon Park, 5, 6, and 7. Due up for the Crush. Jake Freed will lead things off from the left-hand side. Doubledays defense playing pretty much straight up, except for James Musso really taking off towards the deeper 6-hole, as Moore's first pitch is a fastball that's flipped out into shallow right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit in front of Sander. And a first pitch single for Jake Freed puts a leadoff man on. And that will bring up Sean Moynihan Jr., the first baseman. Well, Moore now looking for a ground ball, dull play here just to get himself back in the swing of things, as a foul ball sent right back to the screen above us. And the count goes to no balls and a strike on Moynihan. Well, pitching has not been an issue for the Doubledays so far. Really, they had a couple of really tough blowout losses, but those have been few and far between, as the 0-1 sent in the air to right field. Wenrich coming in, makes a catch on the run. On the run, throwing to first base to Hal Walker Jr. Not in time. Back in with a dive is Freed to avoid being doubled up on a good throw by Wenrich. And there's one away for the Crush. We're talking about the Doubledays pitching staff. They pitched really well so far. Even in all those games that they lost to Batavia, only one of those was really a blowout, 9-0. But other than that, the rest were less than 2-run games. 2 of those even being a 1-0 loss. So the Doubledays really had a good job on the pitching side of things. Just the offense couldn't carry the extra weight. as the fastball runs off the inner edge for a ball, 1-0. Sean DeSoren Jr., the batter, with one away. So on ground ball over to short. Muso's got it. Flipped to Dolan for one. The relay over to first is not in time. A little delayed call by Ray Bryant, our home plate umpire. Looks like Muso just tried to get a quick flip over to Dolan. Was close enough to the bag. We could have seen him take it himself. Instead, he flips it over to Dolan. Kind of slows down the relay, and the Crush have an extra life here as Nathan Reese, the shortstop, comes up. So 2 away for the Crush, and wow, look at the bright, vibrant bat coming from Nathan Reese, the shortstop, as a fastball runs off the inner edge inside for ball 1. Black handle and a bright, bright orange barrel. Matches the Cortland Crush colors perfectly. Pretty good crowd on hand here inside Falcon Park. Duncan night as well as some other events, as a flip from Muso over to Dolan, and that will retire this side. Cortland gets a man on, but leave him stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the second inning. Our score, the Crush nothing and the Doubledays nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to show our appreciation to the men and women who have given so much to serve our great country. We proudly request that any current or former members of our armed forces please stand to be recognized.
And we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 duo for the Doubledays. Jake Bolin, Hal Walker Jr., and Bryce Moore to lead things off. Well, Jake Bolin, talk about a athlete in high school. Had a 4-year varsity letter in both high school football and baseball, as the first pitch is check swung, and he goes around for a swinging strike 1. Linebacker. Very athletic position for Bolin. Right now at Villanova, as the 0-1 pitch is a changeup swung right over, and Bolin's in a quick 0-2 hole. Bolin so far on the year, 2 for 13, and those 2 hits came against Niagara. That was back on our home opener on June the 3rd. Boy, does that feel like a long time ago. It's only been a couple of weeks. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Big hook taken upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Bolin. Low rotation for the catchers here tonight. Bolin getting the start, and we'll see maybe a rotation here around the 3rd or 4th inning, as a fastball swung and hit into shallow left field. Moving in on it and putting the squeeze on it, chest high, Louis Percival puts it away, and the Doubledays have 1 away here in the 2nd inning. Well, I'll bring up Hal Walker Jr. Interesting start on the season for Walker. 1 for 8, 3 walks, but he was a really big factor in that home second game win against Batavia, walking twice and scoring once. As a first pitch fastball runs and catches the outer edge for a called first strike, 0-1. Sophomore out of Hiram College, as a fastball's in the dirt and blocked and put away, and we'll try it at 1-1. Hometown from Mentor, Ohio. this season for Hiram. At 347 on the season as a 1-1 pitch comes in. A slider that backs him out. Taken for ball 2, 2-1. Really finding the extra base hit groove. 11 doubles on the season on his 43 hits. Here's a 2-1. Swing, line drive. That's going to find the gap into right center field. It gets down. Walker's on his horse, hitting the bag at first. Taking the turn and gets the stop sign from Madden over at third base. Hal Walker Jr. checking in with his first extra base hit of the summer. A ringing double in the right center field gap. And that will bring up Bryce Moore. Fastball tailing away off the barrel of Hal Walker Jr. Just stays on it and drives it right into the alley, right around the Powerade sign out in right center field. And like we said about Falcon Park, really taking this ballpark to its advantages. As a couple of looks over from second from Sure, the pitch to Bryce Moore is a check swing, gets all the way to the backs up, and Hal Walker Jr. will motor 90 feet. Ray Bryant gives a no swing, no ball, 1 ball and no strikes to Moore. Bryce Moore also trying to get his summer back underway. A couple of tough outings in the last few ball games. His one hit came against Elmira as a ground ball through the 6-hole. As a fastball misses down low for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Manufacturing runs has been something that Ben Julian has been preaching so far this season. Really putting the team at bats, especially early on in the ball game. And the 2-0 pitch to Moore. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-0. Emil Sander will be due up next on deck. Moore looking for his first RBI of the summer as well. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses down low for ball 4. So Bryce Moore's aboard at first with a walk. He'll hand off the guards over to Tommy Roldan over at first base, and that will bring up Emil Sander. Well, Sanders does have good speed, taking care of center field tonight. Part of the order where the Doubledays really want to work on manufacturing some offense. Normally, the top of the order, the meat of the order, has really done the bulk of the damage so far this summer. It's the bottom of the order that's really needed to bring a step up, and what a golden opportunity this is to drive in a run, put the Doubledays on early as a first pitch throw over to first base. Back in with a dive is Moore. Craig Scher keeping Bryce Moore honest over at first base. Outfield lined up pretty much straight up except for out in right field. Podolak really playing shallow and more towards the right field line. Couple of looks. Here's the first pitch to Sanders. Swing. Jam shot. Shallow. Center field coming in his buck. Puts the squeeze on it. Walker with a bluff over at third base. The throw comes in on a nice little roll to the plate. Just not deep enough for a fly ball, for a sac fly. 2 away. That will bring up Kevin Dolan. So 2 outs, and it comes down to the local talent, Kevin Dolan, out of Brockport. Like I mentioned, he got one of the biggest ovations so far this summer when taking the field tonight. It's a good welcome back here. Last time he got the start at Falcon Park, that was back on Sunday, June 11th, and the 1-run loss versus the Newark Pilots as a breaking ball catches the inner edge for a called first strike, 0-1. Doubledays 2 away. Hal Walker, the runner, over at third. Bryce Moore, the runner, over at first. Good pause over by Scher, looking in a couple of steps. Pitch. Taken downstairs low for ball 1 to even up the count at 1-1. Well, for Dolan, I asked him before the game in the batting cages, just what's his favorite moment being out here at Falcon Park, and what does the real memory of this place bring? And he says it's the sectional wins. As a move over to first base, back in with a dive is Moore, playing in front of a sold-out crowd here at home. Playoff baseball in high school, some of the more intimidating moments, just having to keep your head straight and narrow and look forward to the future. Runners at the corners here with 2 away. The 1-1 to Dolan. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. All good hairs count for Dolan. Gives a little shake of the hips before digging himself back in. Shortstop Reese playing deeper into the 6th hole. Moving in is Wynn, the second baseman. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Dolan. Swing, a little tapper out in front of the mound. Spin and a fire from Scher over to first base to retire the side. Well, Doubledays put some more pressure on, but Cortland is able to withstand it. We now go to the top half of the third inning. Both clubs looking at a 0 in the run column.
End of the third inning. So all you base runners need to meet Ryan behind the right field grandstand during the bottom of the third inning. And if you don't know Ryan, he's behind home plate now, waving his arms. Okay, so you young base runners, meet Ryan behind the first base grandstand during the bottom of the third.
Welcome back to Falcon Park here as we're just barely what feels like 25 minutes from first pitch, and we're already here in the top half of the third inning. 9-1-2 due up for Cortland against James Moore. It's Ryan Wynn to lead things off as the second leadoff man, and all time is called, and it looks like a breaking ball just caught the elbow of Ryan Wynn. So speed is aboard here in the top half of the third inning. As now James Moore is going to have to work with a runner on at first base. Second time the leadoff man has reached here in this ball game. Good lead over there at first. The pitch on the way to the leadoff man, Tyler Bach, is a fastball called strike on the inside corner. We're talking about speed in this lineup. We were talking earlier about the 28 stolen bases as a swing ground ball over to short. Musso not going to have a play at second on the run to Walker. And it's in time to get the hustling Bach. Runner moves up 90 feet to second base. And there's one away here in the top half of the third inning. Jake Houtz has started to loosen up in the Doubledays bullpen. As like we mentioned, this is only a exhibition game, so getting some guys work in who usually wouldn't be seeing a ton of opportunities on the mound. Houtz, two-way player out of Mansfield. Fastball misses down low and inside to Louis Percival, the left fielder. 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field his first time up. One away for Cortland here in the top half of the inning. Moore takes a look over at second. Wynn taking the lead. Pitch on the way. Swing. Pop up on the infield, jammed. Hal Walker Jr. moves on to the infield grass, puts the squeeze on it. And there are quickly 2 away for the crush. And that will bring up Owen Podolek. So Wynn still a runner at second base. 2 away. The outfield for the Doubledays playing straight up except for A.J. Wenrich really hugging the right field line. First pitch, fastball runs in on the hands for ball 1, 1-0. Big crowd on hand starting to continue to fill up Falcon Park all the way around the baselines. As the 1-0 pitch is sent on the ground over the Musso. He's got it, sets his feet, sends a strike over to Walker to retire the side. Well, the Cortland Crush get a runner on, move him to scoring position, but leave him there. We now go to the bottom half of the third inning. Both teams still with that goose egg on the board. picking things up here in the bottom half of the third inning. Be the bottom part of the order. James Musso then flipping back to the top. James Mason and Riley Brody, 10, 1, and 2 due up. And we have a defensive change here inside Falcon Park as Owen Podolek is now taking over in center field, and Jack Coogan is now out in right field as a first pitch fastball runs off the inner edge for a ball 1. Musso having to slide out of the way. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Musso. Breaking ball, that one misses off the inner half as well for ball 2, 2-0. For Musso, a great opportunity to see some live pitching and find a way to get on track here this summer as a fastball gets taken on the outer edge. 2 balls and a strike now. Musso, the freshman out of Lemoyne College, as the 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Good breaking ball, falls right off the table. And Musso is in an even 2-2 count. Only 2 at-bats so far this season at Lemoyne. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Another breaking ball. That one misses off the outer edge. Gets a little grimace from Jared, the pitcher. He thought he had that nibbling in the corner. Musso's been able to work a full 3-2 count to lead off the bottom half of the third inning. Comes a 3-1 from the left-hander. Breaking ball, that one catches the outer edge for a called third strike. Musso sent packing for the first out of the inning, and that will flip the lineup back up to James Mason. First strikeout of the game so far for Craig Scherer, the starter, as James Mason will hit now with 1 away. 0 for 1, a little tapper out in front of the plate his first time on a swinging bunt. Was retired as a fastball misses down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Mason, we've seen him so far this year and just a really good bat-to-ball skills, which is what Ben Julian likes the most about him. As the 1-0 is another breaking ball. He's really liking the look of that slider, Craig Scherer, as he catches the outer edge for a strike. 1-1. We saw him just a couple of nights ago in that doubleheader. Was called upon on a hit and run as a fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 2, 2-1. Hal Walker Jr. was aboard with a walk. Started taking off for second, and Mason hit a little squibber to the second baseman, who vacated as the 2-1 slider misses out and away for ball 3, 3-1. Was cued off the end of the bat, just squibbled right past the mound. The second baseman was looking for the baseball, couldn't find it. Little did he know that it just rolled right past him into right center field, as the 3-1 misses inside for ball 4. So the Doubledays get a man on board here with 1 out, and that will bring up Riley Brody. Brody ground ball, base hit up the middle, and then a throwing error by Ryan Wynn, the second baseman, advanced him to second base. He was left stranded to retire the inning. Little lefty once again for Brody. There's the first pitch. Fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike, 0-1. In the batting cages today, got a brand new piece of lumber. Cooperstown bat is, it's not the same bat he's got out here right now. It's the same bat he's been using so far the last couple of days. Couple looks at first, the pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we have seen Mason run over there at first base. Has a stolen bag. He was also caught stealing one so far this year as well. Look over at first. Short little lead by Mason. Staying pretty much still. Here's the pitch on the way to the plate. Good slider wipes out Brody. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. A.J. Wenrich, the batter, due up next if it gets to him. Mason, really short lead over there. Bag. The 1-2 is on the outer half and right through the wickets of Ischiara, the catcher. And Mason moves up 90 feet into scoring position now with only 1 away. And as you expect here, just a couple of innings in, we already have action in the Cortland bullpen as well. Exhibition game, these stats don't matter, the win doesn't matter, just getting your work in. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way, swing off the end of the bat, parachuting in for a base hit. Jack Coogan up with it, and the throw will go into the cutoff man, Riley Brody. 2 for 2 on the evening so far. And the Doubledays threaten once again with runners at the corners. And here comes A.J. Wenrich. Well, this is a Riley Brody we were expecting coming in from Ithaca. We mentioned him having a really good spring season. And just is able to catch a slider low and away and just golf it into shallow right field. Jack Coogan, the new right fielder, couldn't get a read on it right away. And it just falls in into his feet. And here comes A.J. Wenrich to face a left-hander, as the first pitch is a swing and a miss on a good fastball running off the outer edge. No balls and a strike. Oh, the power that Wenrich can possess. Something that the Doubledays desperately need from him. He's already a fantastic outfielder as Brody gets back to first base after a throw over from Schur. Just watching his batting practice, the sheer violence that comes from his swing. It's unlike many guys we've seen so far on the Doubledays. And when he makes contact, it just sounds so much different as a fastball runs off the outer edge. Count evens up at 1. I mean, you can add Bobby Stang also to that category on when the ball hits his bat. It just sounds a little bit different. 1 ball and a strike. Brody, the runner at first. Oh, Wenrich looking for just something to fall in. He hit a couple of baseballs hard over in Newark last night. Still just nothing to show from it, as he's just hardy on a fastball, fouls it right back, and the count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Will be a game tonight versus the Cortland Crush, and then we're back on the road for 2. We'll be in Geneva tomorrow on the 20th and back in Newark on the 21st. As a 2-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss on a good breaking ball from Schur. Wenrich retired, and now there's 2 away for Jake Houts. Second strikeout of the game so far for Schur. Second one of the inning. Houts 0 for 1. He grounded out to the first baseman his last time up. Little pause, and there goes the runner. The pitch is thrown into second. Tag applied, and it's in time to get the diving Brody at second base to retire the side. The Doubledays threaten once again with runners at the corners, but are unable to work anything out of it. We now go to the 4th inning. Our score, the Crush 0 and the Doubledays 0.
Ryan, are we ready?
Yes, we are ready. Let's do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go!
Now pitching for the Doubledays, number 25, Jake Houts.
They're trying him out. This is his pitching audition to see if,
Well, we got a couple of defensive replacements here for the Doubledays going into the top half of the 4th inning. Now doing the catching, Benji Reese, and then on the mound, Jake Houts. So it looks like the designated hitter has been killed by the Doubledays lineup, as it will be 4, 5, and 6 due up for Cortland here to begin the 4th inning. As this will be Houts' second appearance here in relief so far this season. He does have a win on the year. That came back. We're going to have to go all the way back to that win against Elmira back on Sunday the 4th. This is the way the summer has gone so far. It feels like all these games are just starting to blend in one at a time. as the first pitch from Houts is a fastball that misses downstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. That was a really wacky game, and when Houts got that win, as the 1-0 is a fastball that misses downstairs for ball 2, 2-0. Houts working from the left-hand side. The 2-0 missing upstairs for ball 3, and 3 straight balls to begin the evening for Houts on the mound. Well, that was, remember that weird victory back on June the 4th as a fastball catches the inner edge for a called strike, 3-1. That was started by Sam Huff over in that ball game. That was our 3rd game of the season. Teddy Nelson came in, and then Jake Houts came in relief as a high fly ball tailing into the left center field gap. That's going to get down and roll to the warning track. James Mason cuts it off, but a runner tiptoes into second base, and Aaron Esquiardo. And it's a lead-off double to begin the top half of the 4th inning for the Crush. Well, there's pretty much the textbook scenario of getting ahead of guys early. 3-0 count, has to work back 3-1, and then just feeds him a fastball in the inner half. Like we mentioned about Falcon Park, it plays well for the extra base hit, and especially on this turf, just takes a skip and rolls all the way to the wall, even with the wind blowing in very strongly from left center field, as a good breaking ball catches the inner half for a called first strike on Jake Freed. Freed 1 for 1 so far with a base hit to right his first time up. Houts now on the mound, working from the third base side, lefty-lefty matchup. Corners of the infield playing in as a fastball catches the outer edge for a called second strike. And Houts has a man at 0-2. Houts leans in, gets his sign from Reese. He comes set. Reese sets up outside. Long pause. Here's the pitch on the way. Good slider sent on the ground over to the first base side. But it's rolling foul. And so we'll try it again at 0-2. Well, Houts on the mound. Pitched in 6 games for Mansfield University. Started 3 of those, 0-5 record, as the 0-2 pitch is a fastball that rings him up on the outside corner. Freed sent packing, and there's 1 away. First strikeout of the ball game for Houts, and that will bring up Sean Moynihan Jr. Oh, but for Houts on the spring season as a pitcher, a 7.30 ERA, 9 strikeouts, 11 walks, 19 runs, only 10 of them were earned. Gave up 4 long balls. Long pause, the first pitch sent in the air, straight up the chute. Riley Brody takes control, and he puts the catch down. And there's 2 away here in the 4th inning. This is Brody's first start over at the hot corner for the Doubledays so far. Kind of an experiment here for Ben Julian. Take a look here just to make a variety of the infield, as there's a lot of them so far this summer. So Brody over there getting his first start at third. Musso getting his first start over there at short. Kevin Dolan making his second start at second. Pitch from Houts is a fastball that's sent right back to the screen. No balls and a strike on the third baseman, Sean DeJordan. Both teams looking at zeros in the run column, and they've had their fair share of chances. Cortland able to get a runner on second base to lead things off, but 2 straight outs after that as a fastball misses down and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens the count. Wenrich, the right fielder, playing more towards the right field line. James Mason playing deeper into the left field line, and Emil Sander playing straight up the shooting center. The 1-1 swing and a foul way out in front, just able to get a seam of the baseball, and Houts has a man at a 1-2 count. We asked him, does he actually like pitching? Jake said, well, I go in when I'm needed. He doesn't not like it. He doesn't like it. It's just if you need me, I'm there. Runner at second, 2 away. Houts looks at his sign from Reese. He comes set. Working from the third base side of the rubber. Takes a long look at second. The pitch on the way. Check swing. Does not go on a good, looks like off-speed pitch tailing off the outer edge. So we'll try it again now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brody really hugging that third base line. Dolan works the runner back in the back pocket at second. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball taken. Don't quite know where that missed. Emil Sander gave a jump from center field. He has the best view out of all of us. And it looked like it just nibbled the inside corner. But a really strong take by Desjardins. Now the count runs full to 3-2. Outs looks in. Runner, big lead over there at second base working. Good pause. The 3-2 taken on the inner half, and it looks like it's a carbon copy of the 2-2, and it's missing inside for ball 4. So runners now at first and second here with 2 away, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Nathan Reese. Reese, a ground out victim his last time up. Outs looking for one of those simple little ground balls right to his shortstop. Nice little pause from Houts. First pitch. That fastball misses the outer edge for ball 1. Well, as a pitcher, when you just feel like you're hitting your spots and you're getting the ball right where you want it on the corners, it really kind of makes it tough to get squeezed, especially on back-to-back pitches that were so close as a fastball runs up the stairs for ball 2. 2-0, and now Houts needs to reel himself back in. Lights have yet to be turned on here inside Falcon Park. The sun's setting still behind the third base dugout and off into the distance. There goes the runners. Taken for a strike. The throw to third on time. Tag applied on the leg, and it's in time to cut down the runner in Izquierdo, taking for third. We now go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Doubledays and the Crush are in a stalemate at 0-0.
Welcome the Doubledays out onto the field, and Ryan is up on top of the dugout. So everybody up for the YMCA.
Well, when you're in an exhibition game, sometimes a lot of things just get thrown at you, and defensive replacements are certainly on the docket of that. We have a couple of new positions here. We'll try to get them out to you as best as possible, as Jake Houts is in to lead things off as a first pitch misses inside for ball 1. And how about this for an inning? The bottom of the 3rd ended in a runner caught stealing, and then the top of the 4th ended in a runner caught stealing, as a fastball misses outside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch on the way, fastball, rather a slider, misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-0. Ty Clifton now into the ball game. Zach Sperger now into the ball game. Matthew Warwick, we know, is the new catcher, and out in the outfield, Eric Giornese. As a fastball catches the upper edge for a called strike 1. It's now 3-1. Here's the pitch on the way to Houts. Swing and a little tardy on a fastball just behind. Sends it foul over our heads, out of play. So Ty Clifton now the shortstop in this one, as the 3-2 is sent foul once again down the first base side, and the race for the baseball is on. Three-two pitch on the way. Check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does, says Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. Jake Hout's really not happy with the home plate umpire, especially being squeezed twice on the mound, and now a check swing called, as here comes the skipper, Bill McConnell, and he's going out to the bullpen. That is all for our starter, Craig Scherer. We'll have a new pitcher to tell you about when we come back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. How does your book look? Because mine's all mangled up. It looks great.
Pitching for Cortland, number 38, Scott Scherer.
And we're back here with one away in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Scott Scherer, brother of Craig Scherer, takes the mound for Cortland. And we just don't have much on these guys, as they got here quite literally maybe 2 or 3 days ago, as first pitch breaking ball misses inside to the newly inserted catcher. Or rather, check that as how, as a fastball misses outside, or rather on the outer edge for a called strike. Jake Bolin now out of the game, as we mentioned earlier. Benji Reese, pinch hitter for the Doubledays. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. In the dirt, good stop by Izquierdo, the catcher. 2 balls and a strike now to Reese. Little pause. Here's the windup on 2-1 as a fastball runs up above the eyes for ball 3. And Reese has a good hitter's count at 3-1. Sun still slowly starting to set out behind us down the third base side. Nice light blue sky still overhead as a 3-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and popped in the air to deep-ish right center field, gliding over. Eric Janice, the newly entered center fielder, puts the squeeze on it. And there are 2 away now.
Now batting the first baseman, number 18, Hal Walker Jr.
So that'll bring up Hal Walker Jr. He's 1 for 1 with a double into right center his last time up. Left stranded at third base. So a quick 2 outs for the Doubledays. Here's the first pitch. Fastball runs off the inner edge. Not taken in. Izquierdo, the catcher. And time is called as it looks up a little bit. Missed fastballs inside unless they're expecting a breaking ball outside. And it looks like that quick conversation is done and over with. Got the signs right. Everyone's ready to go. Except for the home plate umpire writing in the mound visits. Solid crowd on hand. Should be just south of 2,000 as the 1-0 fastball catches upstairs for a called strike, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball catches the lower edge for a called strike at 1-2. One ball, two strikes here to the Doubledays first baseman. Fastball cut on and missed for a third strike. And a tag is applied as the Doubledays go quietly here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The lights are about to be turned on as we wrap up to the fifth. Still nothing. Both ball clubs looking for offense here in Falcon Park.
Leading off for Cortland, number 3, Jack Spurgeon.
And we're back here inside Falcon Park. It is still a stalemate at 0-0. As Jake Houts back out for another inning of work for the Doubledays as the left-hander deals the 1-0. Fastball missing outside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, to bring you up to speed here on the season so far for the Doubledays as a 2-0 fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 3, 3-0. And a lot of rain delays, smoke delays, putting in game number 13 of the summer. This one doesn't count, though, as we mentioned earlier. It's an exhibition as a 3-0 fastball dots the outer edge for a called strike at 3-1. Well, Doubledays will be on the road for the next two, Tuesday the 20th and the 21st. Geneva and Newark as a foul ball sent over our heads. Count runs full at 3-2. Those are games you need to take care of business as we look at Geneva's record at 3-6, 4 games back of the division lead. And the Doubledays have really done some damage to Newark, except after that first loss at home for their Newark's first win of the year. Doubledays have done damage on the road as a fastball misses down low for ball 4. So a walk has been worked by the newly entered shortstop, Ty Clifton. And that will bring up the second baseman, Zach Spurger. As the first pitch fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike 1. A lot of changes have been made here on the defensive side by Cortland going into the last inning. As Houts, good move over to first base, back in with a dive easily is Clifton. I'm telling you, as a scorekeeper, if your book looks like mine, yikes. It's not a pretty one. Another good move by Houts, back in again with a dive is Clifton. Doubledays have only made one defensive change. That's behind the plate. Benji Reese now doing the catching. Jake Bolin got the start. As we see another left-hander start to get loose in the bullpen for the Doubledays. As a Good off speed, catches the outer edge for a called strike. It's 0-2 on Zach Spurger.
How much they made tonight?
Outs, pauses. There goes the runner. Swing, line drive, roasted, but it's headed right for the bullpen. Oh, and a nice catch by the bullpen catcher by the Cortland Crush, getting a round of applause by the fans and the teammates alike. And so we'll try that again at 0-2. The runner in Clifton was taken off, and we kept mentioning the speed that comes from this Cortland offense. They run a lot, as there's another move by Hounts back in with a dive. Good little 45-degree move by Hounts, trying to get the runner leaning one direction, see if he can pick him off. Clifton, good lead over there at first. Hounts, pause. Pitch on the way, swing, slap the other way. Look out, that ball has some steam coming off it. And so we'll try it again at 0-2. Jack Coogan, pinch hitter, to flip the top of the order for the Crush. Swing, ground ball. Brody just under the diving glove, and it's into left field. Up with the ball is Mason, slamming on the brakes over at second base is Ty Clifton. As a runner in Clifton was looking like he was on the move, slammed on the brakes. Brody was headed kind of a step more towards second base. Kind of just kept himself in a really tough spot as his momentum was taking him away from the baseball. And the ball was just under his glove, and here come the Crush with nobody out. And here comes the newly entered Jack Coogan. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Houtz holding on the runners, squares around, pulls it back. Reese looking like he was sending a throw back to second. Just recollects himself and sends it back to Houtz. That was ball one outside. Al Walker Jr. playing in, expecting the bunt. Brody now starts to make his way even with the bag. Coogan waving his bat up in the sky. Bat stays back as, man, that fastball in the inner half is not getting the call that Houtz would be expecting it to get. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners take their leads. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss on a good changeup coming from Houtz. And so we'll try it at 2 balls and a strike. And let's see if that bunt sign gets put back on for Coogan. Corners of the Doubledays still playing in. Squaring around a bunt. Pulls it back on that fastball running off the outer edge. 3 balls and a strike now, and well, now here comes the question on who do you want to go with next if this runner reaches. Do you want to still go with Houtz and have him pitch in a bases loaded spot? 3 balls and a strike, the pitch on the way. Taken on the inner half for a called strike 2. And Houtz is 1 big strike away from leaving a runner off the bases here and still keeping that double play in order with 1 away. Runners take their lead. The 3-2 swing popped up on the first base side. Walker giving it a look, but it's headed for the hospitality tent down the first base side. And another race for the baseball commences, so we'll try it again at a full count, 3-2. Louis Percival, the most dangerous hitter in this Crush lineup, awaits on deck. Houtz 3-2, looking at the runner dancing off second. Dolan trying to keep him close. Houtz back and forth, and finally steps off. Ty Clifton, the runner at second, just really causing havoc so far. Houtz was really paying a lot of attention to him when he was back at first base, expecting him to run. He ultimately did break. Runners have their leads. 3-2. Taken. That time is a called third strike on the inside corner. Houtz finally gets the nibble. And the umpire in Ray Bryant finally gives him that inside pitch that he's been wanting since the last inning, but a big strikeout as Louis Percival comes up now. Second strikeout of the game so far for Houtz. Runners take their lead as the first pitch, breaking ball, catches the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Well, for Percival this year, it's been a hot one. 13 for 22, a 591 average, and he's done his damage. 8 runs batted in. He's also stolen 3 bases as well. Has been a complete player for this Crush lineup. As a swing and a ground ball down the third base side, corralled by skipper Bill McConnell. And so we'll try it here at no balls and 2 strikes. Ty Clifton aboard with a walk and then a single by Zach Spurger. Runners take their leads. The 0-2 fastball runs off the outer edge, and we'll try it at a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield playing shallow here for Percival, the hitter. Wenrich playing quite in, leaving that right center gap exposed. Rather, both gaps are quite exposed with both corner outfielders playing close to the lines. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Take another look. Actually fouled it off the glove of Reese. It looked like it stayed in and just bounced away back to the mound. So we got a little excited here for nothing. And so we'll try it here again at a ball and 2 strikes. It looked like he got it. I couldn't really tell on the angle. It looked like it was a cut on and miss. Couldn't really hear a contact either, just off the hands. And so we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Runners take their leads. Long hold by Houts, waiting for the runner Clifton. Really dancing. Dolan working him back. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball taken off the outer edge for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Houts just trying to throw the kitchen sink right to Percival, not looking to find anything he can take into the gaps. Runners take their leads. Houts ready. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Reese. That time the breaking ball gets rid of Louis Percival. Back-to-back strikeouts. And there's 2 away here in the 5th. Third strikeout of this one so far for Houts since entering. And here comes the newly entered outfielder for the Crush. Houts ready, takes a look. The first pitch. First pitch is taken for a called strike. No balls. And strike to the newly entered center fielder, Eric Gurney's. Houts keeping watch on the runners. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Houts has him way out in front of a slider, and we'll try it here at no balls and 2 strikes. Really mixing in his pitches well, really keeping the hitters off balance. Houts takes a look in. Reese gets his sign. Comes set. Runners have their leads. Dolan working him back. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Line drive. Fair ball down the left field line. It's going to get tucked into the corner. 1 runs in to score. Here's the second runner sliding into third base. And it was just a mere 1.5 inches away from being a foul ball. But an RBI double coming off the bat of Eric Garniz breaks the scoreboard early, or rather in the later parts here in the 5th inning. 2 away. And Houts was just a mere fastball, or rather a mere couple of inches away from trying an 0-2 count again. Instead, it's a barreled up double down the left field line. Ty Clifton scores. Zach Spurger moves up to third base. Houts now going to be working out of the windup. First pitch comes in off the outer edge, taken for ball 1. Ball, no strikes on the newly entered catcher, Matthew Warwick. That fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike, 1-1. Right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Doubledays. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and excuse me, hack down the first base side. And so we'll try it again now here at 1-2. But a fastball looks like it was running hard off the inner half. And just more of an emergency swing by Warwick. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 away, runners at second and third. Here's the pitch on the way. Taken down low for ball 2-2. And 2, a good slider, missing just below the zone. Doubledays defense playing deep. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, taken off the inner half for ball 3, 3-2. And this could very well be Jake Houtz's last pitch here. The right-hander in the bullpen's hot and ready. Warwick digs himself back in on 3-2. Houtz from the windup. Iron hot. The 3-2 on the way. Popped up. Shallow. Dolan going back. He's camped. Puts the squeeze on it to retire the side. And the Crush leave runners stranded. But they do break through first. We now go to the 5th inning. The bottom half with our score. The Crush 1 and the Doubledays nothing.
Syracuse. And Doubledays will also be home Friday and Saturday evening. Friday's game is a 7:05 start against Elmira, and that is free t-shirt giveaway night, so don't miss that. And Saturday we have a 5 o'clock doubleheader against Niagara. And following the second game on Sunday night, we'll have our 3rd fireworks show of the season, and that is sponsored by our friends at the American Legion Post 1324. So we hope to see you later this week. Thursday night at 7 for a 2-hour beer night. Friday night at 7 for a t-shirt giveaway night. And Saturday doubleheader followed by the fireworks.
So how many days you home? The Great American Smokeout just to say 5 hours. Could be nap time. You're not sitting long. You can there on a bus. Every 40 minutes you're there. See. Oh, it's not.
Leading off for the Doubledays, here's the hitter, number 27, Bryce Moore.
And we're back here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Doubledays trailing the Cortland Crush 1-0 as Bryce Moore, first pitch swing and sends it foul over our heads. No balls and a strike. New pitcher John Igo on the mound now for Cortland, and there'll be a plenty of defensive replacements to update it as soon as we can. Up here, the book is just now completely taken out of the equation as a fastball misses outside for ball 1-1-0. Moore 0 for 0, looking for his first official at-bat. He walked his last time up, was left stranded on the base paths. Breaking ball, ripped a line drive down the third base, and it hits off the glove of the third baseman. Nick Iannetto. Pitcher's now into the game at third base. Would not have guessed that. So we have a newly entered third baseman, Nick Iannetto. We'll get you more of those as we get them in. So a base hit for Bryce Moore. Really smoked it right down the third base line, and looking for Iannetto, he's able to keep a handle on the bat. Oh, what a bunt by Emil Sander down the third base line. Iannetto tested the throw, a dive in, safe is the call. Emil Sander dives in head first on a beautiful drag bunt down the third base line. And the Doubledays offense has put the pressure on right back here in the 5th. Well, Sanders, we've seen him try this over the course of the summer so far. First one put down successful. Just aligns the barrel of the bat down the first base line and drops an absolute beauty. nothing that the third baseman, Ionel, could do after that. And here's the runners at first and second. Kevin Dolan now up, looking like he might be squaring away as well. There he goes. Breaking ball misses upstairs, puts the barrel of the bat down, drops the head. 1-0. And the thing is with sacrifice bunts, you square early. You're pretty much letting the whole world know that I'm going to be bunting. Now it just forces the defense to make a play as long as you get it down. Moore the runner over at second. Sander the runner at first. Dolan ready in the mound. Squares around. Fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike. 1-1. Tying run sits at second. Go ahead run sits over at first base. In a 7-inning ball game. Well, we're accustomed to those, aren't we? Already feels like the late innings. Runners take their leads. Dolan ready in the box. Here's the pitch. Dolan swinging away. Sends it foul down the first base side. And so we'll try it at a ball and 2 strikes. Kevin Dolan looking for his first hit of the summer so far. Hit by a pitch on a bases loaded against Newark. Was able to bring a run in. The 1-2. Swing. Popped up shallow. Second baseman going out to put the squeeze on it. That's Ty Clifton still in the game. And there's one away for the Doubledays with James Musso coming up. Musso, a strikeout victim. His first time up. Has a base hit back up the middle, back on that game against Newark on Sunday the 11th. Swing, little tapper over the third base. Going to be a tough play, tough choice. High throw by Ionetto. Able to keep the foot on the bag is the first baseman and Andrew Filippelli. Now we'll bring the top of the order back up for James Mason. Bryce Moore now advancing to third, and over at second, Emil Sanders. So good speed aboard at second base if Mason could find some outfield room. The pitch. Fastball runs up high into the sky for ball 1, 1-0. Mason a walk his last time up, and then a little tapper in front of the mound his first time up to lead off the bottom of the first. This crowd here inside Auburn, they're looking to get excited, and it will be loud when they do. Exhibition game or not, these fans are passionate through and through as a good slider misses down low for ball 2, 2-0. And a golden opportunity here for the Doubledays leadoff batter. Garrett Prosper now the first base coach. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Mason shaking the head after that one. Fastball running upstairs. He tried to get a little too aggressive and opened up the box way too much. 2 balls and a strike now. 2 on, 2 out. In a 1-run ball game, both sides with 5 hits apiece. I go waiting. The pitch on the way in the dirt. Wow, what a stop. As a fastball was just spiked in at Nick Mayer, the newly entered catcher in this one. Just shows off the ability to block. That's a tough fastball, spiked 58 feet in front of the plate. Having to jump out and just keep that one secure. Mason now in a 3-1 count. The pitch on the way. Fastball piped right down the middle for a called strike 2. Mason having to back out here, reset himself. Points his bat to the sky. Takes a look in at Igo. He comes set. Runners take their leads. 3-2 pitch on the way. Taken in the dirt for ball 4. Flipping the bat towards the dugout and taking the nice jog over to first base. And time has called as here comes Bill McConnell back out to the mound as the whole infield converges. And Riley Barati comes to the plate, having himself a day so far. 2 for 2 in this one. Base hit back in the first inning, advanced to second on a throwing error on the same play. Base hit in the third as well. Looking for his first RBIs of the summer as well. Base hit was a ground ball up the middle, and then the second one was a little flip shot off the end of the bat into shallow right. Outfield playing straight up and just a little shallow in the corners. The first pitch, swing, ground ball, tapped foul towards the dugout. No balls and a strike to the Doubledays second baseman. Mason aboard at first, Emil Sander the runner at second, Bryce Moore the runner at third. The pitch, fastball misses up and away for ball one, 1-1. And for Brody this in the spring, 31 walks. Not saying he's ever looking up for a walk, but he knows the strike zone well, knows how to control it. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, breaking ball in the air, shallow, Pryor shooting in, but into the glove of the second baseman, Zach Sperger, and the Doubledays leave them loaded here in the fifth inning. We're off to the sixth. Our score, the Crush up 1-0.
They're not going to issue it now.
Mike here pulled the winning ticket. The ticket number was 772509. Please report to Heather behind the third base dugout for your prize.
Well, we're trying our best to keep up with all the defensive replacements in this one as Jake Hout's back out on the mound for another inning of work. Kind of shocked that he's back out for another. But here we are in the top half of the sixth inning. Doubledays still looking for their answer on offense as a good slider gets a swing and a miss. And the count now goes to one ball and a strike. Must have missed something as a ground ball sent foul. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we're just busy trying to get down names as Cortland's pretty much sending in the whole crew out onto the field. Everyone's getting a try in this one so far. As here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, taken in the dirt for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jake Freed. 2-2. Slider taken off the outer edge for ball 3, 3-2 now. And goodness me, we're just kind of going through the motions here up in the booth trying to get all these names in, and we've run out of room in the book, so we resort to scratch paper, and it's doing the job so much. Here's the 3-2 from Houts as a slider misses off the edge for ball 4. So a lead-off walk to Jake Freed. And that will bring up the newly entered first baseman, Andrew Filippelli. Only time the Doubledays will play the Cortland Crush this year is a big slider's taking a hack and a half. Coming up empty, Filippelli. No balls and a strike. Well, we only see the Cortland Crush this once. Next time we see an NYCBL team, we'll see the Syracuse Saltcats. That'll be back here inside Falcon Park on Thursday the 22nd as a breaking ball misses off the edge for ball one. 1 ball and a strike. One from Houts is sent on the ground over the Musso at short on the run. Sets his good throw over to first base to Hal Walker Jr. And there's one away here in the top half of the sixth inning, excuse me. And that will bring up we're just running out of names now, aren't we here? As here's the first pitch, a fastball runs right on the belt and taken for a called strike on Nick Iannello, the newly entered third baseman. Listed on our Cortland Cross roster as a pitcher, so we do have a pitcher now entered into the ball game. As a fly ball sent into shallow left field, and it falls in front of Mason for a base hit. Throw to third to try and get the runner there. Tag apply, not in time. Throw into second on the back end. And Iannello is in diving safely at second base, showing his arms crossed to the dugout. One out with a parachute shot into left field. And now the infield has been drawn in by the Doubledays. Infield fully in now at point blank range as a first pitch slider. This is off the outer edge for ball one on Zach Sperger, the second baseman. Second and third. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul right back to the screen. Count evens up at 1 apiece. We'll pick a more perfect game collegiate baseball league action on the road, and then we'll be back here at home. Next time the Doubledays will face a PGCBL opponent will be Elmira, looking for a revenge win after the tough loss on the road. Back on Saturday the 10th as a fastball's cut on and missed for a swinging strike two. Another strikeout needed by Houts. He's been dealing so far when he's needed to. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, swing, and another foul ball sent back to the screen. And so we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Doubledays looking to leave these runners right where they're planted. Infield at point blank range. Roddy, Musso, Dolan, and Walker all in on the grass. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 2. A good slider, it looked like it had all the knees. Must have missed just either a little bit low or a little bit out. So we'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good arms out in the outfield for the Doubledays. Strongest one out in right field. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swing, fly ball, shallow, center field. Who's going to get it? This one will be tough. Emil Sander runs a really long way, almost in on the infield grass. The throw gets away. No one's covering home. But now Jake House is able to get back to the home plate as a high throw coming in from Emil Sander, just trying to flip it back into the infield. Ends up sailing the cutoff man, Hal Walker. And oh boy, that one had a bunch of trouble written all over it. But here we go, runners still at second and third. 2 away now after the strikeout and the pop out. Swing, line drive, and it falls in for a base hit on a hop. And another run will come in to score for the Crush. It is 2-0. As a line drive just spat right out into left field, falling in for a base hit. Runners are now at the corners here with 2 away. Now bring up Jack Coogan, the newly entered right fielder earlier in the ball game, as a good move by Houts. Back in with a dive over at first. .8:35 local time here inside Falcon Park. Hope you're enjoying your Monday afternoon, wherever you're at. Slider taken into the air into right field. Going over is Dolan. Wenrich coming in, but it's Kevin Dolan to take it himself to retire the side. Cortland adds another as we now go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Doubledays have 6 outs to work with. They're down 2-0. And we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Doubledays currently down a couple of runs here, 2-0 our score, as we are moving here into the late stages. 6 outs for the Doubledays here in this one, as AJ Wenrich, Jake Houts, and then Benji Reese, the 3 due up for the Doubledays. Meat of the order, and they're looking here to face a new pitcher for the Cortland Crush, as Wenrich takes a look at the first pitch and sends it popped up into possible plays, heading towards the dugout, running out of room, and this one hits right off the main concourse, takes a gravity hop, and then bounces all the way back and race for a new free souvenir. Brendan Carradines out for his first inning of work here in this one. Plenty of pitchers have been used tonight for Cortland. Plenty of defensive players have also been used tonight. We're finally caught up on the substitutions, thank goodness. There's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Wenrich as he swings and just taps one foul in front of the plate, giving himself a self-talk before he undoes the batting gloves to reset. Grabs some pine tar from the middle of the bat, takes a look at the lumber before stepping back in. Carradine is set on the mound from the right side. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick Ainello, the third baseman, now playing really tight on that third base line, letting nothing go by him. Andrew Filippelli, the first baseman, as well, playing the same way. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a wave and a miss. Slider outside. Wenrich not happy walking back to the third base dugout. It's been a tough couple of weeks for him so far. And that will bring up Jake Houts. Houts 0 for 2 so far in this one. A strikeout his last time up and then a ground out to the first baseman. Looking to make that slight adjustment before he gets off and rolling. First pitch, fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 1, 1-0. Caradinas resetting here on the mound, retying the shoe before picking himself back up, heading up to the rubber. Houts takes himself back into the right-hand batter's box. A little pause. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball missing down low for ball 1. Two balls and no strikes to the hitter Houts. Doubledays had an opportunity to get on the scoreboard last time, but left the bases loaded with 1 out as a fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 3, 3-0. And unless Houts gets his cookie pitch, you know he's probably got the red light on. Doubledays have a right-hander loosed up, ready to go in the bullpen. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way, taken outside for ball 4. So Jake Houts gets 4 stray balls, takes the elbow guard off, and then takes a walk down to first base to meet Garrett Prosper. Get himself a gummy worm down there, and that will bring up Benji Reese, the catcher. Reese entered into the ballgame back in the 4th inning. Popped out to the center fielder, who's no longer in the ballgame now. Short lead over there at first by Houts. Pitch on the way to Reese is sent foul up and out of play above us. And so we'll try it at 0-1. Mentioned just a really good crowd on hand here on this Monday, June 19th. Happy Juneteenth to everybody out there. Hope you enjoyed your day off. As a move over to first, back in with a dive is Houts to the bag. 8:42 local time here in Auburn, New York. Game time started just a tick after 7:06. Little pause. Pitch on the way to Reese, and a breaking ball backs up, and the tying run is aboard at first base. And the part of the order that's been able to manufacture guys on base comes up, as here comes Hal Walker Jr. For Walker, he's been quite busy with a base hit. It was a double. 1 for 2 in this one so far. Pop out his last time up. One away for the Doubledays, and they have men aboard. They've been able to get the guys on base. That has not been the problem. It's been able to finish the job and find them in. One away does make the opportunity a little bit tougher as a first pitch fastball dots the knees for a called strike, 0-1. We're seeing the opportunities just come here and present themselves, just haven't been able to clean up the back end. Doubledays this season have done a good job of scoring runs anyhow, as there goes the runners as a hit and run is sent foul out of play. We'll try it at 0-2. Logan Matson really putting the game in motion here with runners on first and second. We've seen the Doubledays do plenty of hit and runs so far. That's the first time we've seen them try and attempt it with runners on second and first. Now Walker's going to have to battle down from 0-2. Houts, runner at second, takes his lead. Reese, runner behind him, and a throw back to the bag, and no one's covering the second base bag. Normally that's called a balk, or at least somewhat of a balk. You have to make somewhat of a motion to the second base bag. Oh, we'll just go back and reset as nothing happened. Infield pinched. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Walker. Fastball tested outside. Throw into third. Snap throw. And back in safely is Reese with a slide. It was close. Snap one hop over to the first baseman, Andrew Filippelli. Just able to get back in safely as Reese, as that ball could have also taken a bounce off the knee, and who knows where that ball could have gone after that. Both teams catch a break there. One away, first and second. Houts takes his lead. He's getting worked back in the pocket. The 1-2, breaking ball off the end of the bat and right to the second baseman, and it gets thrown away. Runners are going to advance. Houts heads into third. The throw to third's not in time. Houts was dead to rights at second base. Zach Spurger, or rather Ty Clifton, excuse me, making the catch and then trying to get it to Zach Spurger, the shortstop, and ultimately throws it away. Both runners move up on a gift given by the Cortland defense. Second error committed in this one. And here are the Doubledays once again with an opportunity as Bill McConnell back out for another quick conversation. Oh my goodness, that was just a lazy soft line drive right at Ty Clifton, the second baseman, and just threw the ball away to the shortstop who wasn't covering the bag. It looked like he could have taken it himself. Houts was quite off the bag. At first, he didn't know if he was going to be kind of just caught in between double hopping, turn two anyways, or if he was going to actually make the catch. He decides to put the squeeze on it, try to send a throw to the second base bag where nobody was occupied. The throw got away, and then there was a little hesitation by the Doubledays offense to get rolling, and Houts took a second before started heading down to third, and Reese was just waiting to see where he was going. He follows him there. So golden spot here once again, another gift given. Bryce Moore back up. He hit a base hit his last time up, and the first pitch fastball runs up and in for ball one, 1-0. Tying run sits at second in Benji Reese. Zach Houts over there at third. Here comes the 1-0. Taken off the outer edge. Ray Bryant says that one missed off the corner for ball two, 2-0. Now Bryce Moore, just look for something in your wheelhouse and don't miss it. Outfield playing very, very shallow. No wind now blowing in. The pitch on the way. Slider off the plate outside for ball three. 3 balls and no strikes. No one up and going in the Cortland bullpen right now. Everyone in the dugout for the crush. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch on the way. Outside for ball 4. Another walk loads the bases once again. And here comes Emil Sander for an opportunity. Second walk of this one by Bryce Moore, and now the Doubledays have them loaded up once again. Something they've been struggling with over the last couple of days is hitting with bases loaded. Tying run sits at second base. Go ahead over at first, the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Jake Houts over at first base. He walked. Benji Reese, the runner at second base. He was hit by a pitch. Both of them advanced on the throwing error by Cortland's second baseman. Bryce Moore walked at first. The pitch on the way to Sanders, off the handles. It's going to parachute in for a base hit. Reese getting the way around third. Houts is in the score. The throw to the plate, not in time. Runners advance. Sanders out to dry at second base. But the Doubledays have tied it here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Emil Sander, base hit into center, brought in 2 runs, and we are all knotted at 2. We now go to the 7th inning, and we are all in a brand new ball game. Here we are picking things up in the top of the 7th inning. Emil Sander, a 2-run single, knocks this game up, and Andrew Isdale back out on the mound. New pitcher entered for the Doubledays in a brand new 2-2 ball game here inside Falcon Park. Looking for a thriller finish as a fastball is fouled right down the right field line out of play, and the count will even at a ball and a strike. Well, the Doubledays finally broke through with the bases loaded. It took almost all game for something to fall the right way, and it did. As the 1-1 is a breaking ball that gets let go early, send it high, 2-1 now. We talked a lot to Isdale over the last couple of days as a fastball runs in off the inside corner for ball 3, 3-1. Have a slight little connection back home for us, rather for me at least. Grandparents live up in the Redmond area. Talking a lot about the great state of Washington as a foul ball sent down the first base line out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, grew up as a Colorado Rockies fan, and as you can imagine, really likes Troy Tulowitzki. Mentioned a young rookie Dexter Fowler back in the day as a 3-2 pitch is a fastball. Oh, it looked like Ray Bryant was going to give him the hook, but instead he takes it in for ball 4, so a lead-off walk by Evan O'Rourke. I'll bring up the newly entered center fielder for the Crush, Eric Giarnese. One away as Isdale pops off the rubber and resets himself back on. O'Rourke aboard at first base. Giarnese up on the box, pitch, fastball. Nice, catches the outer edge for a called first strike. We were talking about his time, and both of us very similar experiences out at the ballpark, as Coors Field has a really similar feel to T-Mobile Park. Both were really pioneers in the motto retro. As a runner takes off, pitch is called a strike. The throw to second is waiting for a call. We're still waiting for a call. Is now in time to get him. My goodness. We have one umpire. There's not much you can expect, but Bobby Stang newly entered behind the plate. And we needed a stopwatch to see how long this call was. Ray Bryant really keeping everyone on the edge of their seats before making about 30 or 40 paces near home plate. Called a strike. My goodness. It's just when you have one umpire, you can't really get on him too much, but you have to be somewhat faster with a call. You can't really think about it because you're making one side angry, you're making the other side not. You get the reason why there's one umpire in an exhibition game. There's no reason, there really isn't a reason for a second, but if you are going to make a call like that as a pop-up, staying on the infield, Bobby Stang coming to the net, running out of room, makes a slide, little juggle. Does he make the catch? He makes the catch! Pop-up off the handle of the bat from Giarnese, pops it straight up in the sky. Bobby Stang was running back near the net off the tip of his glove and made a juggling catch right in front of the crowd, making an unbelievable effort. 2 quick outs for the Cortland Crush, especially after the leadoff walk. It was looking like trouble was a brewing. Andrew Isdale starting to feel a groove now as a first pitch fastball gets sent to the backstop. Max Cairo, now the hitter, doing the catching after entering late. Here's the 1-0. Fastball runs up to the sky for ball 2, 2-0. Oh, the one-man umpiring crew, you do have the exception of he won't get all the calls right. He's not going to be able to be on the field. You have a field umpire for a reason on those bases as a fastball runs into the kitchen for a called strike on Cairo. But you're having the umpire has to remove the mask. He has to look all the way across the field on a bang-bang play like that. It was a great throw by Stang. Good tag applied as well by Dolan as a 2-1 fastball runs off the edge for ball 3, 3-1. But it's the timing that it takes to make that call, and that's what you're going to frustrate both sides. One side obviously going to be more frustrated than the other, but you just feel like you kind of get a little hosed on a call, especially when the umpire doesn't have a full sight as a fastball misses upstairs for ball 4. And now I'll bring up Jake Freed, the only batter who hasn't changed yet in this Cortland Crush lineup. So far in this one, 0 for 2, or rather 1 for 2, excuse me, a base hit back in the second and a strikeout in the 4th. Here's the first pitch, fastball running upstairs for ball 1. Isdale looking a little wild on that fastball upstairs. Second walk of the inning issued so far by Isdale. Runner takes his lead over at first base. Here's the 1-0. Fastball, that one dots the knees for a called strike, 1-1. We mentioned this is only a 7-inning game. We're not exactly sure if there even is an extra inning rule. In the PGCBL, there is a extra inning rule of 1 guaranteed extra inning as a slider misses upstairs for a ball. And well, now Ray Bryant's not making friends with anybody as that one misses. In the PGCBL, you do get that 1 extra inning, and if nothing happens, it ends in a tie. As a ground ball sent to first. Hal Walker Jr. takes it himself to the bag to retire the side. The Doubledays, they only need a run. We are tied at 2 going to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Stick with us here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Looking for a celebratory walk-off here going into the bottom half of the 7th. As Dave Sims says, we are in nitty-gritty time here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Last 3 outs for the Doubledays to work with unless we have free baseball, which I'll be assumed is a possibility here as Kevin Dolan in to lead things off against the newly entered Derek Woods as a first pitch fastball is called for a strike to the newly entered catcher Shea Donovan. Finally, feeling caught up here inside of Falcon Park as the 0-1 is a slider that misses outside. Count will even up at a ball and a strike apiece. Dolan this one, 0 for 2, a ground out and a pop out as the fastball misses off the edge for ball 2, 2-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball, that catches the outer edge for a called strike at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 3, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Dolan, the leadoff man, looking to get on. The pitch on the way. Swing and a foul ball. Dolan just stabs the bat at the edge of the baseball, and just miraculously makes some sort of contact. Don't really know how he was able to do that. It looked like he was just throwing the end of the barrel out and just hoping that anything would hit. So we'll try it again. Good protective swing. Here's the 3-2 on the way again. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Shea Donovan throws over to first base to retire Dolan. Well, one away, Dolan retired, and that will bring up James Musso. He's 0 for 2 as well. Struck out back in the third and then grounded out 5-3 back in the fifth inning. Top of the order looms up next if Musso is able to work his way aboard. As the first pitch, slider misses off the edge for ball 1-1-0. Well, good crowd still handy here, waiting to see the conclusion of this one as a fastball catches the inner half for a called strike, 1-1. One's on the board, the pitch on the way, slider misses off the plate for ball 2-1. Well, the rumor has it that we will be playing one more extra inning if the scoreline stays at 2-2 as fastball runs off the edge for ball 3-1. If that were the case, the last Doubledays or last Cortland hitter of that inning, or the last out actually, would be the runner at second base. That's only the rumor though. We're not sure exactly as a fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike, 3-2. So hopefully we're not at that point of the ball game, but if it is, we'll find out soon enough. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way, inside for ball 4, and the winning run's now aboard at first base. And here comes the top of the Doubledays order with James Mason. Well, how aggressive do you want to be if you're Logan Matson? He's getting the full experience now being a manager. His first time getting the full reins of this ball club. Ben Julian's just going to take a back seat and let his young kid learn the ropes as a fastball runs upstairs for ball 1-0. Got to hand it to the kid. He's making all the decisions in this game so far. Runner at first in Musso. Pitch on the way is a fastball that catches the outer edge for a called strike at 1-1. Well, let's see what happens here in this one. We know the bat-to-ball skills that Mason possesses. We've talked about it earlier on as a fastball runs in on the hands for ball 2-1. What do you want to do here? Do you want to let him keep swinging the bat away, or do you want to put the game in motion? Musso, decent speed aboard at first base. Really short lead at bag. We'll pause, the 2-1 on the way. That fastball dots the outer edge for a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Riley Brody would be the batter due up next. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, taken in the dirt for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Now a really big pitch in a really big spot. If you're going to see a runner go, it'd be now. Musso getting his signs from the third base coach, Matson. He takes his lead. Look over the shoulder from Woods. Pause at the shoulder. The pitch on the way. Swing. Little tapper to the right side. Gliding over is Clifton, the second baseman. 2 away, and now the winning run sits behind Woods, the pitcher. Riley Brody in this one. 2 for 3. A couple of base hits, one in the first and then one in the third. Popped out to the second baseman his last time up. How about a spot here in this one? Finds some sort of outfield grass, and you know that Musso's getting the windmill. Little hold. Working the pitch, the first one on the way. First pitch swinging, Brody aggressive, sends a foul ball down the third base side out of play. 9:06 on our clock here at local time inside Falcon Park. The night sky just starting to appear. Musso aboard at second base. 1 out walk, working his lead. The 0-1 pitch, slider misses off the back foot for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brody. 43 runs batted in this spring season for the Bombers. Brody waving his bat before setting it set on the shoulder. Musso with a lead. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing. Golfed up into right field. Going back on it is Clifton. He puts the squeeze on it to retire the side. Well, let's see what the plan is here before we decide anything. Are we going to play some extra baseball? Looks like we're going to be playing some extra baseball here inside Falcon Park. Andrew Isdale back out on the mound, looking to keep everyone put, as they'll put a runner at second base here in the 8th inning. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. And we're picking things up here in the top half of the 8th inning. Wouldn't expect that we are in this moment where we're at now. 8th inning, free baseball in an exhibition game, as we'll be starting with the California tiebreaker. Well, I don't know how many people out here call it a California tiebreaker, but the runner will be at second base. Jake Freed will be the free runner at second base. It'll be Andrew Filippelli, the first baseman, newly entered into the ball game, and we are here in extra innings baseball as Andrew Isdale back out on the mound for the Doubledays. He is all they have left here in this one on the pitching side of things that they want to use today. As a bunt gets squared and it's put down and it's foul. Nice catch by Ray Bryant, the home plate umpire. So no ball and a strike. Well, Doubledays so far this season 0-1 on extra inning games. They lost back in Elmira. Got to go back to Saturday, June the 10th. They lost a 3-2 ball game in extra innings. That was their first time on the road. Putting a bunt, squaring it around, and it's spinning like a top. Bobby Stain picks it up, throws a strike over to Kevin Dolan, covering the first base bag. There's one away, but now the go-ahead run just sits a mere 90 feet away from home.
Now batting the third baseman, number 5, Nick Iannello.
As here comes Nick Iannello. Infield drawn in for the Doubledays. Outfield playing straight up and just a tad bit shallow. First pitch from Isdale misses upstairs for ball one behind the back. Had to drop the barrel of the bat down and not make accidental contact. Just looking for a harmless ground ball to one of your infielders, or just a weak pop-up on the infield. Even a strikeout will, of course, do, as a fastball misses out for ball two, 2-0. Doubledays have no one in their bullpen warming up. Everyone in on the bench. For the Crushers, or the Cortland Crush, excuse me, everyone's in the dugout as well. As a foul ball sent back, 2-1. Isdale really having to work here hard with a runner given at second base, and now advanced to third with one away. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch, swing and a miss. Good fastball running off the outer edge for a swinging strike 2. And Isdale has a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Iannello entered into this ball game back in the middle innings. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the outer edge for ball 3. Full count now. Tie game at 2-2. If you're just joining us, Cortland scored their first 2 runs in the 5th and 6th inning, and the Doubledays got all their back at once as a high, towering foul ball headed for the Doubledays clubhouse. Bangs off the top of the roof, and so we'll try it again at 3-2. That's a swing that Isdale really wants to avoid. Deep fly ball like that, unless it's hit out to right. The 3-2 on the way. Fastball gives a little shave of the chinny chin on the hairs of Nick Ainello. So he'll move up to first base, and now there's runners at the corners with only 1 out. Logan Matson just a step out, just telling his defense know what he wants to have him play. Corners will be in, middle will be back. Brody just a step off the third base bag. Hal Walker Jr. holding the runner on, and the middle infielders pinched to the second base bag. Pitch on the way, popped up, foul over our heads. You're going to hear a bang most likely if it heads back behind into the concession stand, and oh, no bang, it heads just straight back. No balls and a strike, and time is called as heading down to the third base coach's box. Is the batter, Zach Sperger. Well, Isdale now really needs that ground ball right to his middle infielders at turn 2 and get the Doubledays an opportunity to execute. Only inning of extra innings where we'll play tonight. If this one ends at 2-2, we will stay tied. Runner takes off. Pitch is called a strike. The throw to Dolan. And now the runner's hot box. He's going to run at the runner between home and first. The throw to the plate. The ball in. A tag applied. Is in time to get him. Oh, my. I don't know about that, Mr. Ray Bryan. It looks like it was close. Oh my word, it looked really close. Kevin Dolan had to really run the runner back between first and second. The throw was just barely late. It was a good tag though by the catcher Bobby Stang, and like I said, I don't know if that hand got in there in time. Bang bang play. It looked like the throw is just a little too late. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball, that one misses for a ball. It's now 2-1, and oh man, it's been an interesting ball game to say the least behind home plate, that's for sure. I know the runner now aboard at second base, having a huge lead. The pitch, good breaking ball, catches the edge for a called strike. It is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild in a 2-2 ball game. Ainello, the runner at second base. Dancing. The 2-2 on the way. Check swing, doesn't go around, and we will go to a full count at 3-2. This game has had a little bit of almost everything, I'll tell you that. It's been like that the last couple of ball games, really, for the Doubledays. You've seen almost everything. Ainello, the runner at second base, way off the bag. Infielders nowhere near. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Andrew Isdale fires a bullet to the outside corner to retire the side. The Doubledays, it's their chance to execute. Riley Brody, the runner at second base. We now go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Our score, the Doubledays 2 and the Crush 2. And we are picking things up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Riley Brody aboard at second base as the California tie-breaking runner as A.J. Wenrich. Wow, what a moment would this be for this kid to get something over the heart of the plate and let it fly. Brody, good speed aboard at second base. He can run a little bit as Derek Wood, back out for another inning of work and a move over to second base. Brody back in standing, no problem. Wenrich looking for his first hit in what feels like a long, long time. As he swings, ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Brody getting the wave on. Here's the throw to the plate, all the way through, and the Doubledays walk it off. A.J. Wenrich snaps it, and the Doubledays are dogpiling by the first base bag. A.J. Wenrich, your hero in 8. Oh man, A.J. Wenrich, that a kid. Back in the moment, hit a screamer of a line drive through the third base side. Riley Brody off to the races. And the Doubledays get their first walk-off victory in 2023. Tune up, We Are Family. They are dancing out in right field. The Doubledays take down Cortland Crush by a final score of 3-2. We'll be right back with the happy totals next on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Well, here we are back here inside Falcon Park, and what a ball game this was to end on. A.J. Wenrich snapping what seems like an O for forever. Man, this guy's been frustrated. Just nothing has been going his way. And then pieces up a base hit right through the left side. The third baseman, Nick Ainello, nothing he could do about it. And Riley Brody was off to the races off the crack of the bat, slides across home plate. And that's how the Doubledays ended. Andrew Isdale, your winner tonight. Derek Wood takes the loss. And let's take you back to the key moment in this one. You got to go back to the 6th inning. So Jake Houts with a walk, and then right behind him, a hit by a pitch to Benji Reese. Hal Walker Jr., the next hitter. It's a little cap shot off the end of the bat. It was right to the second baseman, Ty Clifton. Ends up throwing the baseball away to someone who was supposed to be covering shortstop. Nobody was there. The throw got away. Runners moved up to second and third. And then it was a walk to Bryce Moore, and then Emil Sander off the fist of his bat. He's still probably picking up some of his thumbs behind the plate. Drops in a parachute 2-run single. Ties the game up, and then the Doubledays in the top half of the 8th inning are able to fend off the Cortland offense on a rundown between first and second and third and home. And that ends this ball game after A.J. Wenrich finishes the deal. And the Doubledays faithful are walking home happy. Your final here inside Falcon Park, the Doubledays winners 3-2. Next game, we won't be on the air for the next couple of games. We'll be in Geneva and Newark, but don't forget, we'll be right back here on the Doubleday Sports Network on Thursday, June 22nd. Well, that's it up here. I'm Trevor Curl. We'll see you next time. Enjoy your Monday night.